Good.
All is well?
Amazing.
Good. So today we're going to ask you a couple questions, just get to know you a little bit, let people who are checking out the website know who you are. Tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Who am I? It's a complicated question. I'm an artist. I paint, I collage, I collect vintage pieces. I paint those. I'm very environmentally aware, and that's my little piece of trying to help that. I'm not this big activist, but in my little ways with extra material waste, I kind of like to bring new to the old. I'm a very social person. I don't know, a weirdo.
Yeah?
I'm a weirdo.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
We went to college together. When I learned about your journey, I was very interested, and it was not surprising.
I was very emotional at that time.
Yeah. And like reading about it, I feel like it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I liked hearing about it. So if you want to share more about that, where your journey began, how you started, what prompted it, what keeps you going, to this day?
Well, early 20s, I would say, I started painting, and I went through some stuff that got me pretty emotional and in my head. And when I decided I wanted to use painting as an outlet to kind of release a lot of it all, it really helped me. It was so therapeutic. I felt like the emotions were leaving me, and now I had them trapped on this canvas, and then I could revisit those canvases and those pieces, and I could remember the feelings that I felt while I was painting them. And as the years kind of progressed, I got a little bit more aware of myself, and I've come to this point of learning constantly about myself and how often I change, that emotionally painting just didn't make me feel like myself anymore. It wasn't authentic to me, to say the least.
So your style maybe evolved?
It evolved, exactly. It evolved. Now I paint with a lot more intention. I have a lot more of an inspiration in what I believe in, other than just emotions. Yes, my emotions are still connected to it all, but it's now more to do with my expression of my beliefs and what I want to kind of change in the world, and what I want people to view as a change. I kind of want to spark questions. I want to spark debate. I like challenging the norm of how people view women. So my art is a lot to do with this archaic belief that society has on females in general. Myself, I would say, is what started it, of what a lot of people put on me, and that kind of came out into my work, and it was really relatable to a lot of people that have seen it, and people that I've expressed it to or shown around the world. And I've just evolved painting, and I've evolved in how I paint. I've evolved in what I paint. I don't just paint canvases anymore. Now I like to express myself on clothing, because for me, fashion and clothing is another form of expression, and that's super important to me. And that's pretty much where I'm at the moment, and who knows where I'm going to evolve from here, but I expect to expand.
Really
Murals.
Cool. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
want it in houses. I want people to expand their designs in what they see every day. It's easy to put a painting somewhere and change it out. It's easy to wear a piece of clothing that you feel for a day and the next day change it out. But having a mural or having something stuck on your wall, it's there. It's there, it creates an aesthetic, it creates a challenge of any human being that walks into your house or into your place or into anywhere to kind of stand there and just be like, what the hell is this? Like, what does
It's
it
like,
mean?
whoa.
Yeah.
And I also think it says a lot about the person who like owns a house.
Oh yeah.
They're like, whoa, shows a little bit of who you are.
Yeah, definitely.
Whole wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have an idea about like how you got started, how your style evolved, how would you describe your style?
It started abstract. Now I would describe it as contemporary, modern. It's not, you know, relatable to, let's say, you know, when you go to Italy. I went to Italy for a little while, and every single piece of art in Italy is Renaissance or Baroque or a certain time period of detail, of specifics, of a story almost in the painting, whereas mine is more of an image. It's more of a connection. It is an intention that makes you think on what I could have possibly been trying to put out there. It's simple yet detailed. It has meaning, but it's very basic. I like basic colors. I don't like, you know, mixture of a lot of things now, whereas like when I used to paint abstract, it was so many colors. It was as many as I could possibly put in there if I was feeling it, you know. But now it's very simple. I want shit to grab you in it and have just intention. I think that's the main thing for me now. It's intention. So I would consider my style more of like a modern contemporary because of that. Yeah.
Wow.
Westernized art, man. And I'm a part of it.
Loaded question.
Yeah, super loaded, but I totally get it. Yeah, there are a few artists that I have found along my journey that have really inspired the direction that I kind of went on. A lot of artists that I've come across that are women have kind of tangled in forms of expression of themselves that have really inspired me on how I view myself and how I want to view myself, because you know, you'll never really like reach your ideal just yet, especially in your mid-20s. You're still kind of working your way up there, and I'm still confused a lot of the time, so I'm not going to say I'm this like perfect, you know, inspiration for myself, but I've definitely came across a lot of artists that have pushed me in directions that have made me more confident in myself and in my creativeness. And when it comes to not just my work, but my intention or my inspirations in general, a lot of my family members, actually, my cousins collect a lot of vintage, and they're very into recreating the old to help wastage and to help, you know, costs of all of this fast fashion. And that inspired me in making it my own. Like, okay, you know, I'm not great at it, you know, at the sense of like finding all of these old pieces. It's just I'll go deeper into it as like my old pieces. It could be from fast fashion from when I was a teenager, and instead of just getting rid of it or throwing it out to go buy a new thing, I've actually recreated those pieces, and then I'll help and what's the word? Support. There we go.
Yeah.
Support local. There, that's it. Exactly. I don't know why I forgot that. It's so simple. I would support local and recreate it in my own way. So it's just a lot of really amazing women.
So what I'm hearing is like not only did it like inspire you as Talon, but it also fueled like your creativity.
Yeah.
Because you would literally take those pieces
and make them my own.
And make them your own. Just like the way you walked in with that bag today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Painted that bag.
I know you did.
Vintage thrifted.
Love it. Walk the walk and talk the talk.
Exactly.
On point.
Definitely experience artist block. I'd say when I do go through those moments, I kind of like to separate myself. I put time, space in between what I'm doing. I tend to, travel. I tend to, it's not too healthy, but I kind of run away. When I go through those things, I feel like I'm not up to par with the project or the idea that I'm, trying to kind of put out there. So I travel, I buy a ticket and I just go away to kind of experience something new, feel something new, refresh myself, where when I get back to it, I have a different headspace. I'm in a clearer mind state, if that makes more sense. Sometimes I, don't travel and I'll just take a chunk of time where I'm not painting and I rest and I take that time to myself and I kind of try to get more of a sense of where I'm at, and I start fresh from there. And I used to judge myself a lot during it. Now I'm a little bit more used to it, so I don't judge myself. I see it, I'm aware of it. I totally understand what I'm, supposed to do as I'm going to do that.
I have to sneeze, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Continue.
Yeah, no, it's just time and space and traveling. It's the best thing. Anytime I can go by the sea and mountains, I'm fucking great for a long time after that.
It sounds like when you get artist block, it's like linked to your emotions, and it's interesting how like the solution to that is actually like
not
knowing
painting.
yourself. Yeah, and not painting, taking a break.
Where I used to purely paint when I was emotional, and now when I'm emotional, I don't want to. I'm more of I need the intention. I don't want it to be morphed.
Clarity.
I can't. I need the clarity.
Awesome.
I definitely need clarity. I did not. I never went to art school, but I do art history classes. Art school never really felt for me. A lot of people figure out their, direction of art. Some people go to art school and they go into it wanting to paint, and they figure out that it's more photography that they want, or clothing, or anything in that art world, where that's what art school kind of provides you. It's a jumble of every aspect of it that you can kind of focus more specifically on as you go through your program. Whereas for me, I always knew I wanted to paint, and I didn't sit right with me to have somebody tell me how to paint and if what I was painting was right or not right, or it needed to be this way or that way, and I could never really do that. It's specifically for me.
You didn't want your passion to become an assignment?
Exactly. I couldn't have that, or else it would have ruined painting, and I don't want that to ever happen. So in my way of kind of learning and inspiring my work, I do art history courses. I, go to different countries. I learn the art history in that country.
So you do the art history courses in those countries?
Yeah, so I specifically will go away to do school. I travel for school. I like to learn about artists. I like to learn about their journeys. I like to learn about why they started painting, how they paint, what their, end goal was, or the outcome. And through every artist I've ever learned is it's always changed. They've always gone into different fields. They've become sculptors. They paint their sculptures. They, can paint very detailed paintings of, let's say, for an example, Renaissance, and then all of a sudden they go into abstract. And those artists in the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, that wasn't a norm. You know, you were considered and labeled very odd if you went into, you know, different fields in the painting world. So for me, learning about those things and it not technically being odd anymore, now, you know, art is anything. Art is crazy. It's you know, you're labeled a mad person, you're emotional, you're sad, you're whatever the case may be. You know, you're not odd anymore. It's understood at this point. Westernized civilization has totally changed the game, but for me, learning about those artists is how I learn about my own art and how I learn about where I want to go. And it kind of gives me more understanding of the artists that I do meet in real time, or I do come across in real time, that are alive now and as young as me, or a little older than me, or still alive, you know, but super old, where I'm looking at their work from the 60s and now they're in their 90s and they're wicked humans and they're living the dream, my dream, you know, of just pure freedom and expression and happiness and sadness and all emotions put into one, and you can see it all and you can feel it all and you can understand like the meanings of it all. So for me, no, I didn't do art school.
Long story short, I did not go to art school.
No art school for me, but I would recommend it if you don't know what direction you want to go into. You know, start off in art school. I started painting when I was like 20, and you know, majority of, you know, people that want to figure that stuff out, it's right after high school, and I was in a business program. I wasn't doing anything that I really liked. I wasn't happy in school, and so my way of escape was art. And then by the time that I got to this point of, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to go to art school, or do I want to do something else? And it was past that point. I already knew what I wanted to do. It wasn't like I needed to figure out what type of art I wanted to get into. So it didn't make sense for me to go into a program that was like 4 or 5 years of a lot of mixed art. And then, you know, as the years progressed, specifically going more into like one direction. No, I already knew the direction I wanted to go into. I don't even know what to expect from me in the future. A lot, definitely. I have ideas, I have projects, I want to expand, I want to, you know, I want to create more and more and more. And when I'm ready, I will definitely broadcast that out into the world. Hopefully I'm able to, you know, get what I want and what my plans are. But definitely a lot.
Why do you choose to work with us?
Because I love you.
Oh, thanks.
No, I think that your project, Untitled, this project is a super wicked way for local artists to show their stuff. As simple as I can put it. I think it's amazing that you guys are willing to put your time and energy into artists, because a lot of people don't. And that's what makes it so difficult for artists to kind of express their expressions and to show their creations and to broadcast what their, you know, whole meaning of art is. It gets deep with artists. I think there's always a bigger picture that they try to portray, and you guys are trying to help that. And I think that that's so beautiful. And so I'm gonna support it, and I'm gonna be a part of it, and I'm lucky to be a part of it. I'm grateful to be a part of it. Thanks. But no, I am. And I hope that this does take off the way that we all expect it to.
We believe that people like you have a lot to offer and show the world. So keep on pushing.
Love it.
Have a good night, Talon. It's 2 a.m.
Late night talks.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. See you in a bit.
Thank you. See you.